What's up, CPA? I'm Drew, and I'm here in our brand new Soli Center, hosting the Media Studio's new broadcasting series, Soundcheck, where we check in with our talented art performers 1 week before their live performance. This week's episode is Coffeehouse. Let's go meet some of this year's acts and take a look behind the scenes. Amy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, so this is your first time performing a solo act at Coffeehouse. So can you tell me a little bit about your act?
Yes, this year I'm singing Never Enough from The Greatest Showman. I really like to perform in front of people, to be able to sing to an audience. It's never really made me nervous. It's very raw and it's very real and it's very, unfiltered, and that's the beauty of Coffeehouse. It's live and you get to hear people's real, rich voices, and that's what everyone loves to see.
Elisa, thank you for sitting down with me in the theater today. Can you tell me a little bit about your performance?
Yeah, so I'm singing a song called That's How the Boy Gets the Girl in the Movies. It is basically about how people fall in love in movies and how people want that to be their reality in real life. The love aspect of it is always something that gives people hope, and I think the show is really about hope, and especially because the theme Come Together is talking about how after a big pandemic, everybody's coming back together and being hopeful together, I think, is a really big aspect, so I wanted to show that.
Maria, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you're dancing in this year's performance.
I am.
So can you tell me a little bit about y'all's dance?
So we're doing a dance to a song called Heartbeats by Johnny Swim. Johnny Swim is a duo of a husband and a wife, and the song Heartbeats actually is about, both of them lost their parents at the same time. So the song is kind of both of them working through their grief together, and the song's just about how they can feel their grandparents with them as they go through life. The dance is a contemporary piece, and it's a really beautiful kind of just us telling the story of the song through our movements, and I'm really excited about it. It's a really beautiful dance.
So if you could say anything to the audience that will be watching you, what would you want to say to them?
I would just say we've really been trying to, make this year's Coffeehouse a really fun experience for everyone. It's got a really cool theme, really fun directors. It's got some, media clips in it too. It's got all sorts of fun acts in it, and every single person who's performing very successfully makes their song their own, and I've even sat in on some sound checks, and it's been wonderful to watch.
You're performing this year with Vision 2 as
I
well.
am, yes. We're doing this song called Wrapped Up in You, and it's got some really cool dynamics to it. We're doing it a cappella. And for the sound check actually for Vision that we had last night, I'd say it's a very heavy tech act, meaning we all have our own microphones, which is actually quite difficult for tech to figure out because we all have our own separate voices and we all have to sound like one voice. Once we have those mics and once we have the monitors and we are able to hear ourselves and the audience is able to hear, it sounds amazing.
So when you're by yourself on stage, have you ever messed up before in front of
I have
audience?
multiple times. I mean, nobody's perfect, and there's one story I have where I was doing a show and I was actually one of my first lead roles in a show, and I totally missed my scene and I forgot to come on stage because I think I was, reading backstage. It wasn't that big of a thing, but it took me about a minute or two to get on stage and then continue the scene, and I was shook. I was so scared, but I think that taught me to always be prepared and ready, and I think that's definitely gotten better, and being right off stage for when my cue's coming.
It also says a lot about the backbone in actors, because once you mess up, you got to keep going. You can't just stop.
Yes.
If you could say anything to the audience that will be watching you perform, what would you say?
There's just so many crazy talented people performing, and art is such a crazy awesome thing, and through so many different art forms you're able to tell so many different stories. Dance obviously is one of them. Like I said earlier, it's such a great way to be able to tell stories. Songs, it's a great way to tell stories. God giving us the gift of art is such an awesome thing, and you see it everywhere. My message to the audience is to pay attention to what we're doing because everything has a purpose. Just to try to follow along with the story and see what crazy things that we've been putting into it to help you see the story. I'm just really excited for Coffeehouse.
Yeah, well, we're all excited to see the performance and the story that you guys will be telling through dance. So thank you so much for,
Thank you for having
talking
me.
to me. Yeah, awesome. We're so excited to see the performance. Coffeehouse is our annual student-produced showcase, and this year the show is back live right here on the Soli stage on September 1st and 2nd at 7 p.m. Make sure to go online to purchase your tickets for this year's show at either the link right here below or on the MyCPA Arts Resource Board. Until next time, I'm Drew, and this has been Soundcheck. I'll see you at the show.